I can't hear you. I can't hear you anymore. Is it just me? Hello, Gafar. Are you still there? Is it just me that is not hearing anymore? Is this from everyone? I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Just tell me when to move on your slide. We have less than 2 minutes. So tell me when to move on your slide and we'll move.
All right, all right. I'm a Lagos-based creative with a deep passion for storytelling through visuals. So I specialize in a way that feels real, cinematic, and unforgettable, which means that whether it's a brand or person or idea, I try as much as possible to bring their visions to life through the lens. Please, can you move on to the next slide, sir? Okay, so my services include videography, which means I shoot events, commercials, and social media content. And for cinematography, I shoot short films. I'm a filmmaker, narrative short and creative shoots. And when I mean creative shoots, I mean like, oh, I shoot like videos that has to do with like, let's say someone has an idea or a concept, say like a fashion concept, like, oh, how do you think you can bring it to life? I think I'm very good at that. And I am also good in post production when it includes color grading and sound design. And I'm good with developing concepts and scripting. So please, can you move on to the next slide, please?
All right.
So this is my portfolio highlight. On the left is one advert that I shot for a commercial that I shot for a restaurant brand in Ilorin. The name of the restaurant is Amalanifi, right? So this is a still from that advert, and on the right is the video coverage, the event coverage I did for Alt Prize Nigeria for their on-campus event. Yes. So this is the still for it. So please can we move on to the next slide? All right, and on the right here, on the left here, we have a wedding event that I went to shoot last year, Blessing and Choji. And on the right, rather, is a campaign for mental health awareness in the University of Ilorin. I was the main videographer there. So please can you move on to the next slide? So my style includes clean cinematic shots with storytelling at its core, and I also do catchy transition effects. I have an attention to details when it comes to capturing core moments, and I'm flexible because I can always adjust to what the clients want. And I'm also passionate about cinematography and video editing, and I'm always ready to improve in my craft. So please can you move on to the next slide? Hello. Okay, so
Done.
the tools that I use include I'm very good at using cameras, the Sony Alpha series and the Canon 70. I actually love using Canon 70 for shooting because of I know it doesn't shoot on RAW like Sony, but I find it very easy to shoot on Canon 70 than even on Sony. I don't know why. And like editing, I use Adobe Premiere Pro and I also use CapCut Pro. And currently, I'm learning how to better my color grading using DaVinci Resolve. And for my audio, I use Rode Mic, and in post production, I use Adobe Audition to clean my audio. Then for the other gears, I know how to use a tripod, and I'm also good at making use of lighting kits like the RGB light or the photo light. I know how to set it up and how to use it to better my videography or my cinematography. Please can we move on to the next slide, sir?
All right.
So here are some of the client reviews that I've done, and The one from the left is a review from a client I did costume day. There was this costume day event at the university, and I was the main videographer. And while the one on the right is for a party, like a lady was going for, she was the bridesmaid at the party, and she said she wanted a clean edit. And this is the review for what I've done for her. So please, can you move on to the next slide? So these are the brands that the clients that I've worked in currently. I look forward to like expanding my brand scope, like the clients I've reached out to work for. I've worked for, like, I've shot videos for Amala Nifi, and I've shot video for Hot Price Nigeria and JCI and Unilever. So, please, can you move on to the next slide? So I'm open for jobs and collaborations, and not just like, oh, I have these jobs that I want to work for. I'm also open for collaboration. If you have like a creative shoot and you think that, oh, I want to bring this to life, or and I need someone to help me with it, I'm always open. Whether it's paid or it's not paid, I think I'm always open to like welcome new ideas and work with people to just create something cinematic and something different. Thank you so much. That's all about Gafar Tinoye.
All right, thank you so much. I think you deserve like a lot of applause. Some of us are already doing that. Well done. I mean, that's part of what we are, trying to do. We're trying to create that platform for you to. So yeah. So next, I have Israel. Israel is also in the cinematography community, right? So I'm going to be sharing my screen to show Israel's work. Although the slide I currently have doesn't seem to be the main slide, but I guess by the time we are done with this, we'll get, because I think he has a video, something he has actually done that he wants to also show us, but I don't think I saw that video here. So in the meantime, Israel, the floor is yours.
Good day, everyone. My name is Abulama Israel. I'm a video editor and a motion designer. I use Premiere Pro and After Effects. I have over 3 years plus of experience using those softwares. Business life. So what I do is I take raw ideas, raw concepts from like a client's mind or something, and I convert it into a visual content like arts, talking head videos for YouTube. I do short reels and more. So I can start, please play the video.
So is this a video? Is this meant to be a video?
Yes. Yes, that's a video.
Okay, let me do that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Nice.
That whole video was just a simple ad I made for my course that I'm trying to sell. Teach people how to use After Effects. Absolutely class on how to use After Effects.
I see. Should I move to the next slide?
Yes, please. So my experience with After Effects mostly, even though it's quite difficult to learn use After Effects on weak systems, I've been trying my best and I've used it consistently for more than 2 years. So little tips and tricks, I've already gathered them, and I said that I'm quite good at it. I'm not yet a professional yet, but I can still make engaging, interesting videos for people.
All right. That's pretty cool. Last slide.
And the big thanks to Overlord, they really helped me a lot connect with different people, meet new customers from them. Yeah, they really helped me a lot.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Israel. Yes. So I think the last person we have is she's more of a UI UX designer. She's a product designer. Ify, I believe Ify is here on this call right now. So I'm going to share my screen to show your work, and then I would leave the floor to you to comment. Ify, are you on this call?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I like to call it Empower Design Journey. That's for me. So my name is business slide. My name is Ifoma Opala, and I'm a creative product designer. I gather most of my works from life experiences and the jobs that I've done in the past. So that helps me to like be more creative and intentional when I'm doing my designs. Business slide, please. So my design journey has been for passion. I have passion for customers' needs and wants, and it's not just about creating, solving problem or problem solving. It's about, to me, it's about creating solutions for people, for the needs of people and customers or whoever is using whatever product that I work on. So that helps me to be a better designer. Business slide. So this like is a glimpse of my work. This next one. Yeah, that's here. This one I did for a gift card company that I work with currently. So they had an old application and they wanted to like upgrade their website, their application. So I had to like give them a sample of what they could use here. So please, next. Yeah, so my experiences has not been like, there's been ups and downs, failures, but I've always have perseverance. Please continue. So yeah, my professional growth started in 2023 with Tech for Dev. Then 2024, 2025, I met, I was opportune to get in contact with Overlord, which I'm grateful for. So next slide, please. So key learnings of my journey that has been inspirational to me is that consistency and and exploration. Yeah, that's one thing that also gets me going. That yes, I know that I'm going to get there, even though I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But then I have that zeal and strength that I'm getting there. I'm getting somewhere. Please next slide. So yeah, you can contact me. My LinkedIn, I can share later after this, and my portfolio, phone number, and email. Thank you.
Oh, my mic was muted. Thank you so much, Ify. That was a great one. Hearing you guys come up to, talk about yourself, coming out of your shells to do something like this, it feels good. It feels nice because, I mean, if I had such an opportunity many years ago, I know there would have been a lot of a lot more progress, even though I am still grateful for the progress that we have now. My point is that I have seen too many young people like myself in this line of work in creative space get discouraged and try and go through the super fast route, right, to make it, because yes, you can see your mates, you can see people on IG, they are posting a video that getting 5 million views, and you are, even I myself, I even have some, from time to time, I tend to, get this feeling sometimes. But the point is that when you have an environment where there is support, you have an environment where people are just like you, people are growing like you, right? I think that's like one of the best things we can do for ourselves as professionals, as creatives, to grow, and that there is always opportunities. So, I mean, I'm going to stop here because I don't want this to be a sub story kind of thing. And at this point, I want to, and we are moving to our next agenda, right? Which is basically, this is where we want to get to hear more from Izzi, right? I mean, I've been looking forward to this session, and there is a lot of, there are questions that I would want to ask that I know some of us might be, curious about. So before we get into this particular section, two things. Lade, please confirm if you've gotten the winners for the last game. Have you gotten them?
Yes, I have.
So
So
who
we
are
have
our winners?
King and Gafar Tinoye.
Come again.
We have Mayowa King and Gafar Tinoye.
Wow. Oh yeah, you guys should drop your phone number in the chat like right now, so you see just drop it. Lade will pick it up, right? So congratulations, you guys. There is still more. There's still more to come, right? But for now, we want to get right into our discussion with Izzi, right? So let me explain what I can see the numbers are dropping already. Let me explain what we would be doing briefly. While we are going to start with a this or that, a sort of rapid fire this or that questionnaire, where we ask him, okay, between this and this, what do you prefer? Right, so he gives us his answer and maybe adds any bit of context that he deems necessary, right? So while all of this is going on, I would like for you guys to start putting down what questions you might have for him about, any question at all that you feel, he would be in a good position to give response to you in your growth journey and all of that, right? So, I mean, I feel like I could continuously thank you for being here. But I think we've heard a lot about that at this point. So, Izzi, once again, good evening. Yes, I have about 20 questions here, but again, they are more like quick questions where they require quick responses with maybe context and all, right? So we are going to be covering gadgets, tech, right? We're going to be covering freelancing, entrepreneurship. We're also going to be covering basically lifestyle, right? Like a sort of like tech lifestyle. There are things that we want to understand. There are things that we want to get insider understanding for before we get there. So without much further ado, my first question is the obvious one, right? And I see a lot of videos of yours online where you review phones, where you do phone reviews and all that stuff. And sometimes it seems as though you are towards the direction of Android, but again, I just want to get clarity, right? Between iPhones and Androids, which would you pick? Which would you prefer between iPhones and Android?
Androids.
Wow. Wow. Can you tell?
If you need context, it's the versatility, the things I do. I need a phone that can do a couple of things at the same time. So Androids are the phones that can do that. I need to be able to be on this call, and maybe I want to send something to someone and not worry about the call ending because I'm going to do something else on my phone. Yeah, those kind of things.
All right. All right. I think that's clear. For those of us that are still, we have our clear answers now. Okay, now, Bluetooth headphones, that's like AirPods and the likes, or wired earpiece, right? Which would you prefer? Because let me just leave that to you. So you're already on. Okay. All right. So another question. This is one more question on gadgets, right? For when you are making a decision for which phone you want to get, right? Do you go for more RAM or better camera? Which would you go for? More higher RAM or better camera?
I'll go for higher RAM because I scarcely use my cameras. I mean, it also depends. It's a lot of factors, Sha. It depends on a lot of factors. So if you are talking about flagship phones, I mean, the standard 6 gigs of RAM will be enough, but then I will have to look at, okay, how okay is the cameras? But in the end, most of the time, camera quality is overrated unless you're comparing it to something else. It is pretty much good enough. So I'll prioritize the RAM speed and then maybe even processor. What I mean, unless I put it or specify which phone took which photo, most of the time all you see is a good or a bad photo.
All right. All right. I think that's clear. So my next question is more towards the freelancing slash entrepreneurial space. So I would like your honest thoughts on this. Work from home or working in a co-working space or an office, which is more productive, really?
I think working in a co-working spaces or an office is more productive, but then it depends on the individual. I mean, it depends on the organization too. So, and when you see your staff and what they are doing, it might be more productive for them. But if you allow flexibility, working from home can also be good for some people. But I mean, the working from home favors the employee more than the company themselves, because if I'm working from home, I can procrastinate my tasks since nobody's monitoring me. I can stack it up and decide to do it all over the weekend. If I'm in the office, I might have to report completing something by the end of the day and all that. Although I do prefer working from home.
Okay. Okay. I also prefer working from home, but I've come to see a lot of people abuse that, right? And it's just sad because you then find employers, they lose faith in people that wish to work remotely because of all of
There
this.
is less accountability from people that work from home, but then it also depends on the kind of work, right? If the job you do is maybe as a video editor, there's no reason why you need to be in the office wasting resources. Take your time, do it at home, do it overnight. That's probably when you even flow better.
Exactly.
But if it's an office work where you have to report a lot of stuff and then be accountable to somebody, yeah, you have to be in the office.
I agree with you. Okay, this one is for a lot of our passion people here. I know some of them, right? So burnout from passion projects or peace from a boring job. Which would you say is a more ideal place to be?
For me, I'll go with burnout from a passion project because I mean, peace from a boring job is okay, but it's still a boring job, and eventually you'll snap one day. Even when you burn out from a passion project, you probably pick it up eventually when you are done with the burnout because it's something you are genuinely interested in. Or if you lose interest in your boring job one day, you will just find yourself not having anything to fall back to.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Okay. So this is more of a lifestyle related question now. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you have you are present on various social platforms, and this is more of a, in fact, I even need this answer personally myself, right? tech Twitter or tech TikTok, where is the real community? Like really, tech TikTok or tech Twitter?
Okay, I would have said the real community is on tech Twitter, right? The only way you can build around the community in TikTok is if you are going live. Right? If you are going live regularly, that's when you can actually build a community. If you are not going live, there's really no community there. Then like you might just have one or two loyal followers, but then those who are not loyal, they'll find other opportunity to still drag you. Even on Twitter too, but I think Twitter has more of the tech community when it comes to community. Twitter has it more than TikTok. I mean, on Twitter you get job opportunities. You don't get that on TikTok. TikTok is just followership.
Mm, mm, I see. I see. I personally, I think Twitter, if you like want, you're trying to like have a strong and loyal community, Twitter is that place that has always stood its ground and has lasted through the test of time in terms of, so and it's just difficult.
It's really hard to grow. So it's really hard to get that community. So the few that are there, they are there because they want to be there.
To be there. Exactly. It's very difficult to do. To even have 100 followers, that's a lot of work it will take. Genuine followers, that is. Right. You spoke about your preference to Android more than iPhones earlier. Right. So now this question is furthering that, right? Is Apple overpriced or is Android just under-designed? Like, do you think the whole point of the costly nature of Apple is because they are just, the design of the devices and all, and then Android, on the other hand, they are not. So basically, is Apple overpriced or is Android under-designed and not deserving of that high pricing as Apple does?
So one thing you have to do is give credit to Apple for what they are. I feel it's overpriced, but they are really the only one in their game. They are, how would I put it? They are selling a brand, they are selling an identity, not just a product. So, if you want to use iOS, you have to use an Apple phone. If you don't want an Apple phone, you are not using iOS, right? So they are the only ones there. And then when it comes to Android, we now have like versatility. There's a whole lot of Android brands that gives you different spices or different flavors of Android. So it's not as if Androids are under designed, right? You just have to look. If you want an Android phone, if you want the one that is better than an iPhone, you will find it. If you want the one that takes pictures better than an iPhone, you will find it. If you want the one that games better than an iPhone, you will find it. It's just that if you find all of those in one balanced package, they are just as expensive as an iPhone, or sometimes even more. So that's it. So it's not as if, while I would say iPhones are overpriced, they are just as overpriced Android phones too. And then it's just that I think when it comes to accessibility, because of let's just say every iPhone is a flagship phone, right? But then when you come to Android, we have the cheap ones, we have the budget ones, we have the 100K ones, and those ones that are just, okay, give to somebody that just wants to make a call, give to somebody that just wants to use WhatsApp. And then when you are buying, even if you are buying an iPhone from 5-6 years ago, you are still buying a flagship phone. But then if you want to buy an Android with that same amount of money, you are buying a budget Android phone. And if but you can also as well decide to buy a flagship Android phone from 5-6 years ago too. But some of them might not hold up as well as the iPhones have held up because Apple has a limited number of phones that they make so they can take care of it well. It's easier to take care of 3 children than to take care of 20 children.
Very true, very true. Now this is a bit of well, I won't say no, not controversial, just tricky, right? If you were to drop one of these two things, which would it be? Wi-Fi or electricity? Which would it be? If you were to drop one that, for the next 2 months, you are going to have to be without this thing, would it be Wi-Fi or electricity?
It's tricky, very tricky, because
It is.
if you drop electricity, what will sustain your Wi-Fi? So I'll go with electricity, with the conditions that I have access to gaming consoles. That will keep me busy. If I go with Wi-Fi and I run out of battery, what happens?
I think it's tricky, but at the same time, it's even almost like an easy choice because with electricity, it's just like you said, right? Now, for people like me that every now and then meeting this, meeting there, meeting this, right? And it's always exhausting, right? Having to join this Zoom. Can you see my screen? Can you see? I mean, there's even a trend out there about that whole thing, right? So which would you prefer? Morning Zoom meetings, right? Or late night grinding sessions, meaning you are working in the middle of the night and like burning the night candle, as the saying goes, or you are always in meetings, Zoom meeting here, Zoom meeting there. Which of these two would you prefer?
I don't like meetings all the time, so I prefer like burning the night candles and all. I mean, I prefer just being in my space and working. So if I have to like have so many other people, I mean, if there's accountability, the meetings are occasional, that's fine. But allow me my space, my time to do my thing.
Okay, so I still have a couple of questions, but because of our time, and I'm seeing that some people are already dropping their own questions that they have, and I wouldn't want to take over the whole question thing. So I'm going to ask one more question based on this or that, and another one question outside of this or that before we start. I think Lade will take up other people's question and then you give response to them. So my final question on the this or that. Would you rather go for, like, as a freelancer or an entrepreneur, basically you're a service provider of some sort, would you rather go for one high paying client that this is the only client you are going to focus on, and it comes with the stress, and but they're high paying, just one, or 5 smaller clients that maybe put together the total amount might be slightly above this one high paying client, but just slightly, or maybe even equal, right? But there are 5. So which of these two would you prefer?
I'll prefer high paying clients. Why? Because from experience, high paying clients stress you less. And also you want to do less work or spend time with less work and make more money. So if I would do one job and make the money that it would take me 5 jobs to make, I'd rather do that.
All right, I think that's quite straightforward. Okay, so over to my last question. Before I go about asking that, I know some people might say that I'm overflogging this, but I just feel at this point it's still kind of important for me to put out. So basically, there's a high level of passion, there's a high level of concern, right, that I have for young people in my generation, even the younger generation, right? There's a high level of concern. I mean, the things I see, the things I experience, right? And I mean, I don't want to get into some of these things, but ultimately, there is a high level of concern I have there. And the whole reason why Overlon was put together, and why we are, even though we started from a very small point before we were able to grow the team and grow, like, the whole reason for doing this was, or rather one of the main reasons for doing this was so people, right, wouldn't have to break their necks and make decisions that are not the best for them long run, right? Just so they get this job, or just so they start making this amount of money. You hear people fantasizing about making their first 1 million naira. I mean, somebody can be 10 years in a space, but because of their lack of access to opportunity, because of their lack of connections, right, in that 10 years of their experience, they've not made 1 million naira once from a job before. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this person is a good job, but being in the country they are in, Nigeria, and for whatever factor, whatever reason, it's just difficult, right? My point is that I believe that a lot of people who have been able to find their way and make some sort of headway, and there is a pattern that works, right? We owe it to other people coming up and even people that are seriously struggling to guide them and point them to the right direction. To that end, I have one question which is more like this is a more intimate question now. It's basically about we would like for you to share with us your journey. I mean, we know that it's not always like a straight line to something remotely close to success, because I know any high achiever would not sit wherever they are and say they are successful, right? So, but on that ladder towards success, right, we would like for you to share with us your journey like as much as you can comfortably share, and those important things that you learned that you believe we, right, myself and every other person here can learn from to be better by, right, in our own journey, right? So we'd like for you to just, in the next 5-7 minutes, come in on this and share with us. We would appreciate.
Okay, so in the build up to your question, there are some certain things you mentioned. You first have to acknowledge that the country is hard and like it's very difficult for everybody. And then younger generation, they have it tough because we are experiencing a shift, like a major shift in how things work. Previously, it's go to school, get a degree, get a job. Right now, it's go to school, get a degree, get skills before you can get a job. And when you get a job, the degrees are not even relevant to the jobs. And then even right now, the people that are getting jobs are the jobs that they are getting degrees for. They can just train somebody for 6 months to take those jobs, right? So in the end, so like the younger generation are experiencing this shift. Some of them are adapting, and then it's easier for maybe a little bit, should I say, the millennials or yeah, let me just say the millennials, because they experienced this transition that they had enough time to adapt. Some people were just born into it and they are still confused, so they would adapt eventually. Because so growing as an individual, as a content creator, one thing I have decided to live by, and it's a fight I'm still fighting. You just have to say to yourself, you have to put in twice as much effort to get even half of the recognition that those above you are getting, because staying relaxed will not get you there. It's always one hurdle to climb. You are well recognized in Nigeria, and then you go outside of Nigeria and everyone is looking at you like, look at this less privileged person, look at this local, like all those kind of things. So you're always trying to prove someone wrong. It's in Nigeria, it's elsewhere. So it's more of always stay hungry, always have a goal in sight, and when you reach that goal, you are setting a new target. You don't set a goal and stay relaxed. I think it's some of the challenges that some people are facing. That's why they're not scaling in their jobs. I'm still talking about a journey, right? I have done a lot of things. Let's say I have worked in a pond. When I say pond, like a fish pond, yes. This was before I like got into the university though. Like I worked in a fish pond. It was stressful. Work the whole day, go home with 700 naira, back pain, neck pain, and all that. And then I have attempted to do web development. I have attempted to do digital marketing. I have attempted graphic design and so many other things. I have a degree in chemistry education, so I have like maybe in and out, but at least 5 years of teaching experience. I have TRCN certification as a teacher, but I didn't follow that path eventually. I was teaching to get money until I like stumbled into freelancing and I just quit everything and focused on my energy on it. And it was all these things that I was trying to learn, even failing at getting each and every one of them. It's what led me to where I am today, where even if I did not learn something complete, the little skills I picked while trying to learn that thing has become useful to me. That is why today I am my content creator, my script writer, my video editor, my graphics designer. I am doing all of those things. If I did not attempt to learn some of these things eventually in the past and did not succeed at them, if I did not attempt to learn them, now that I'm being a content creator, I've been dependent on so many other people to try and accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. But then when I was trying to start, I figured out that I had most of what I needed. All I had to do was be consistent and be dedicated and be open to learning something new. There's always something new to learn. You will not have everything you need to do something. I think I was giving someone an illustration today, and I said, regardless of this, I said, I asked what killed Goliath. For those that are familiar with the story of David and Goliath, and everybody grew up saying, knowing that stone, right? And I'm like, no, stone did not kill Goliath. Stone helps to kill Goliath. And everybody was like, what are you saying? What are you saying? And then I opened that passage, and it said, David took a stone, hit Goliath, and Goliath fell. David took Goliath's sword and killed Goliath and cut off his head. So I'm like, imagine if David had waited till he could get a sword, or imagine if David got a sword first, would he have been able to reach Goliath? The stone, no matter how small it is, was able to help to get him to the point where he could use the sword. But if he got the sword at the start, he would not have probably been able to kill Goliath. So you just have to realize that, oh, this is what I want to do, right? What do I have now? Even if it is just this wire, you know it's not enough to do what you want to do, but the question is, what can this wire do for you right now while you are trying to get the other things? If you decide to wait till you get the other things, you will eventually not do that thing you are trying to do. So if you find out what this wire can do, by the time you finish figuring out the best way to use this wire, you will now realize that that thing you were trying to get is not essential right now. You just need to amplify this wire better so that it can do what you need it to do for you, or get a better wire. So that's the whole idea. So I started content creation while even trying to do something else. I was not going to go into content creation. The way I learned WordPress, I mentioned I learned web design. I started with HTML, the part HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all. HTML was easy, CSS was good. I was even knowing it more than my teachers, because I was like, it was not just learning from the class. I was going home and trying to get conversant with it. By then I already learned a little bit of Photoshop. And then I started learning JavaScript, and no matter what I tried, it was not working. At that point, anybody would have said this web design is just nonsense. But I just realized that, since the JavaScript I was not understanding it, no matter the effort I was putting in, what can I do with what I have learned, HTML and CSS? And that was when I discovered, people build websites with WordPress. Not everybody wants a high functioning website. Some people just want single page websites. Some people just want to showcase their businesses. So I bought WordPress. I used the little money I had to buy WordPress subscription or plan or something. And one Saturday morning, I sat down the whole day, and I built a blog. How did I build it? I was just going in and out of Google, YouTube, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. I didn't take any class, and I successfully built a blog. And I tried sustaining the blog, and after like 6 months or so, I could not sustain it. I just left it there. But little do I know that eventually a job will come because of my ownership of that blog that I just left it on my LinkedIn profile. It was no longer functional, but I got a job offer because of that. The person just said you should have copywriting skills. Then I didn't know what was copywriting. And when they invited me for an interview, I started reading up on copywriting, take a HubSpot course a week to the interview so that I can pass the interview and all that. So I attempted web design, and then I was trying to revive the blog. I wanted to write about places. I wanted to visit different places and write about it. And I was going to buy a new phone then. And then when I was researching for the new phone, I realized that writing about places would be stressful for me. I don't like going out. I don't like moving around that much. But yeah, I like going to new places if it's going to be stress-free. But then I realized it's what I was searching for. I was searching for a new phone to buy. I know the phone I wanted to buy. I was waiting for the phone to launch. I was just researching every new information on the phone up until the launch. And then I realized that, what comes naturally to you is smartphones. You're the go-to guy when anyone wants to buy something that has to do with a gadget. You're the go-to person when anybody has any issue with their phone. They ask you first before they take it to a repair center, because you'll be able to tell them they can fix it themselves. So why not talk about smartphones instead of trying to write for a blog? And that was how I started. So, let me review the phone I was buying as at then. And I learned my first video, and then I looked at it. Okay, this is interesting. Let me review one or two other ones. Let me review the phones of people around me. I did not have everything. My first audience was my WhatsApp contacts, right? So, and then as time went on, it was, as someone that is able to make the best use of whatever gadget that I have, people that would see my videos would be like, what camera do you use? And I'll be like, no, I'm using a phone. And they'll be like, no, it's not possible. I just learned how to use the phone well. And then I started learning about things like video editing, lighting, and all of that, until I eventually, I think after a year, after I got to 5,000 followers on YouTube, I then got a camera. and all that. But imagine if I started by getting a camera first, I would have probably gotten frustrated with the process and said I've wasted money. But then I had to start with the most little resources that I have. And even at that, there's always a new goal. Hit 1,000, get monetized. You get monetized, but that's not the end. When you realize that, oh, AdSense in Nigeria is very low. People, Nigerians are watching your videos. You are not earning money, right? You need to get more views. You now start to struggle. Let me get to 10,000. Get to 10,000, you're still not there. That's when maybe brands will start looking at you. You want to get to 100,000. When you get to 100,000, okay, and all very few, you get more recognition. And just like that. And now the goal is 1 million, right? So the thing is, stay hungry. There's always a new target you are going to try to climb. Don't get too comfortable. Some people get comfortable in their jobs and they stay too long on the jobs is because, oh, this is a good paying job at this time. And before you know it, they are spent 10 years there because they're not hungry to try and grow. And before you know it, they are staying in one place for too long. I think one of the 9 to 5, I'm going to round up with that, the 9 to 5 job I had before I went back to freelancing. Because after my NYSC, I did a 9 to 5 for like 6 months. And when I was doing that job, then I got the offer from another company because of the blog that I had to come and do copywriting. And then I was trying to speak to the HR when I was thinking about quitting the job. The salary was 73,000 naira. And this was in 2017 or 2018. And the HR said, if you have an offer that is better than what we are paying you here, don't think about it twice. If you are sick tomorrow and not able to do this job, this company will replace you. And there are people that have been here 10 years. They look as if they are doing well, but I mean, it's just small incentives, but they are not like, you look like somebody that will go far. So don't stay in one place for too long if you see something better. I mean, it's not okay to jump from one place to the other, but you just have to take the leap. And I did that. And the funny part, the job that I got offered that made me resign from that job, Etisalat was the company, but that was a year Etisalat had problem. And after I resigned, there was just one more contract to sign. I've signed everything. I was supposed to travel for training, and then Etisalat had an issue, and their parent company just said, leave Nigeria. So I was left without a job. But what did that make me do? It pushed me to going to reassess my skills, seeing that I need to learn new skills. And before you knew it, I got another job that was paying me like ×3 of what the new job would have even paid me within a month or two. So until you've actually put yourself on the edge, you will not reassess your situation and see that this year needs to improve. Just don't get too comfortable. That's it.
Awesome. This has been so packed, and it's a lot. Thank you so much. I mean, personally, I have like a driver from all you've said, and I want to believe that a lot of us here, I mean, it's evidence from their reaction. A lot of us here have also gotten one or two things. It's just clear. It's just clear that I was going to ask a question, but you eventually answered the question along the line. Like, at what point did you decide to start creating content the way you do? But you already answered that along the line, because it was important for me to know at what point, right? And you see, because there's a lot of reasons why you would quit whatever you are doing because you think it's not being appreciated, or because you're not getting these days social media, right? When you make a post and you're expecting 1,000 views and you end up seeing 300 views, it gets to you, right? And when that happens once, twice, thrice, 5, 10 times, it might even get to you start thinking, or maybe this thing I'm not supposed to, maybe I'm saying it wrong, or maybe I'm doing it wrong. And you begin to bring things down on your, it happens. You can't, it's just unfortunate that social media has that power. It does, right? It happens. But the main thing is, and I think it was like spelt all over what you said, believing in oneself and just continue pushing through. Right. Thank you so much for this. Let me have the what's it called? Let me have the, I think Lade can come in to point out the questions that other people have, because we're already almost running out of time. We have till 9 o'clock, and we have one more game where the winner of the laptop is going to emerge. So before that game, we want other people's question, at least some of them, even though we can't take all of them, to be responded to. So Lade, you can start from the first person or just screen the messages you can ask, and the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Yes. So I have some questions in the comments. This is from Mayowa. Would you say the iPhone 60 hertz is smoother than some 120 hertz Androids? That's the first question.
Yes, it can be smoother than some 120 Hz Androids if they are budget Androids. Like I said, every iPhone is a flagship, but it's not smoother than a 120 Hz flagship Android or a 120 Hz flagship, probably even mid range. But if it's a budget one, yes, it's definitely smoother.
All right.
Sorry, Lade. What's one example of a mid-range flagship Android? One example.
Okay, so for example, what I'm using for this call now is a Galaxy S25 Ultra. That's a flagship Android phone, right? A mid-range Android phone would be, if I'm to mention a Samsung since it's popular, would be a Samsung Galaxy A56. The cameras might not be as good as the S25 Ultra, but it's good too. But then a budget one would be like a Galaxy A15, A16. That's the ghetto. That's where you start seeing, even if you have 120 Hz, you see lags and all of those things because the processor is also, it's not just the refresh rates. There's a processor that is trying to power that refresh rate. So if the processor is not strong enough, it doesn't really matter. And then when I say all the iPhones are flagships, all of them have the flagship processors. And then that 120 Hz budget Android phone has a budget processor, so it's not going to be as smooth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, thank you. So Lade, you can continue.
All right, thank you for that. The second question here says, the phones and gadgets you use for your content, what do you do with them afterwards?
Okay, so first you have to know that for every new phone and gadget, there's already somebody in the DM asking for it. There's a family member asking for it. There's a church member asking for it. There's a neighbor asking for it, right? So there's always a queue of people trying to get that phone and gadgets as soon as they see it. There's also people that are willing to buy it. Like, okay, this phone you just reviewed, when you're done, I want to buy it. And but the thing is, because of the questions we get, somebody can come and ask me, oh, Samsung A56, you reviewed it a few weeks ago. There's so and so thing that I discovered. How is it on your own? If I have given it away, I will not be able to answer that question. Right. So most of the time I have to keep them for at least a year until the new one comes out. And then when I keep most of these gadgets, I keep them because I need to be able to see how they are doing over time, because you will agree that unless it's the phone I'm using every day, I am not going to use it as much as you that wants to buy it after I review it. I might have just used it for 2 or 3 weeks. You that will buy it to use for longer time and will experience more about it. But if I keep it, I'll be able to have little of that experience. I'll be able to give you updates. I'll be able to, oh, this software update, please don't install it because I installed it first and discovered that it causes this problem. So most of the time we have to keep them. And then when it's the ones we are sure we're not going to be using after a year, that we still have to sell to recover, because we don't get them for free. Even the ones we get that are free per se are not really free, because you have to do a video in return, and a video does not take 30 minutes to make. Like, say for example, if I'm a creator that charges for a video, and let's assume a video costs me 1 million naira to make. If a brand gives me a phone, they expect me to do a video, and they are not paying me for the phone. So it costs something. But then sometimes, like towards the end of the year, I can decide that, okay, look at all the phones that I have. The year has ended. Which one am I keeping? Which one will I not use again? We do some creators, I don't know for everyone, but sometimes we do giveaways towards the end of the year or the beginning of a new year. Or these phones, we're giving them away just as thanks to the audience and all that. And then, like I said, there is always a family member. There is always someone that is
Yeah.
depending on you for phone. You go to church, somebody's telling you, please, so I only have 20,000 naira, empathy, this and that. Before you know it, you are giving out a phone and all that. So there's always somebody asking for a phone.
All right, thank you for that. The second question, yes, is it's like a two-in-one question. The first part says, so my question is, before content, what were you doing like 9 to 5? And when did you get the click to ditch every other thing?
Okay, so can you hear me? All right. I think I answered that question partly when I was talking.
Industry to favor upcoming and your tech content for creators to flourish, I mean, the big creators have everything it takes to pull up all the traction, but a young and struggling creator still trying to make do with what they have are just there. What do you think?
I think you might have to take that question again because I think the network snapped and I did not hear it all.
Let me just take, maybe our network is, let me just, the second part of the, I think you've already answered the first part while you were speaking. So the second part, what do you think is the way forward for tech content in Nigeria? And do you think the industry still favors upcoming and young tech creators to flourish? I mean, the big creators have everything it takes to pull up all the track, but a young and struggling creator still trying to make do with what they have are just there. What do you think? This seems to be a statement and a question. Yeah.
So the thing is, no matter how you think that it is saturated, it is not enough because if I ask you now to sit down and count 10 Nigerian tech content creators that you know that are doing well, you will not be able to count up to 10. And if you cannot count up to 10, that means there is a lot of room for every other person that is trying to come up. And if I start to count right now, let's see, on YouTube, how many of us are over 100,000? Me, Fisayo, Oscar, Bracket Reviews, Valor Reviews, Eric Okafo. That's 6. Okay, you go since 7. These are the people that are over 100,000, right? But then when you look at other creators all over the world, there's a whole number of them. Like there are so many. So there's a lot of room for Nigerian creators. It's just that you're looking at the big creators, seeing what they have achieved, and you think that there is no room for you. But look at each of these creators. Everyone started as a small creator. Look at, if you want to look at, don't look at their success right now. Go and look for their first 4 or 5 videos. You'll probably get enough motivation and you realize that, oh, it takes time. I agree that it is more difficult now because phones have become so expensive. The inflation is killing everything, right? But it doesn't have to be phone for you, right? You can find something else, right? And you don't always, and with the coming of AI, there's a way you can improvise and still not spend money and make this content. There are content creators that we have never seen their face, that they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. There are content creators that they don't buy phones. They just give reports on what is coming. Something new came out. They give us updates and we follow them for that and they make the money. And with time, as you are growing into it, small, you will start getting, no matter how small the money, you start investing it into the content creation. So don't limit yourself by saying the bigger creators have a way to pull all the traction. They built it step by step. So you have to start building your own step by step. And also don't underestimate the power of meeting other people that are doing what you are doing that you can relate to. It might not be easy to have constant conversation with a big creator, but it will be easy to have constant conversation with somebody who is trying to achieve the same goal as you. And whether you like it or not, you are going to be able to help each other because you are the ones following up each other on the videos that you make and giving each other tips on this is what is trending now. Are you making a video about it? Keeping each other accountable. The big creators that you see that are collaborating today, that's how it was for them from the very beginning. Oh, you have not posted a video this week. I hope everything is fine. Like always converse. And then when you can message the big creators, a lot of them respond. I try to respond when I see the messages. If you have specific questions, as long as you're not going there straightforward and saying, I need a phone to do this, I need an equipment to do this, right? The first thing they will do is check your profile. You have not done anything. They know that whatever they're giving you, you are still not going to do anything, right? So if you are going there asking a question, oh, I am already doing this. This is the challenge I'm facing. How can you advise me? They will answer you and advise you.
Thank you so much. Lade, because of time, we can only take one more. I see there are several questions, but I mean, we can't exceed 9 p.m. here. So we have only one more question to ask. So you can just pick any of the questions, one out of the rest, for him to respond to before we prepare for our final game for the laptop.
Okay. Let me take this. How can you get collaborations too? And you said something sizable that you actually review other people's gadgets, phones, especially.
Sorry, I didn't
I
get
think
that. Are you picking a question?
yes. Someone has a question.
Can you come again with the question? I'm not seeing that question here. Can you come again with that?
That's like how can you get collaborations too? And you said something about you usually review other people's gadget phones, especially.
Okay, so on that, about reviewing other people's gadgets, it's you are trying to start out, you don't have money to buy phones, right? You don't have to review the latest. If you review the latest and I review the latest, go watch my video and not watch your own, right? So you are not going to compete with views with me that is already high up there. So what are you going to do? Target those gadgets that you know that I will not have time to look at. Right. Take for example now, Techno released a phone that looks like the iPhone 16, the Pop 9, right? Most of the time, because of the work that bigger creators have, the brands will probably not send the phone to these bigger creators. And these bigger creators, they have so much work on their hand that they will not look at these phones. You as a smaller creator, instead of you to be trying to buy S25 Ultra, best go and buy that Pop 9 that is more affordable. There are a lot of people that want information on that phone. You cover it and that phone, but then it's not something you want to buy. I'll give you another thing that I did as well. You have friends that are buying phones one way or the other, right? Reach out to them. Please, your phone, can I hold it for a day or two, right? You are going to buy this phone. You're going to cost you 100,000 naira. I have 5,000 naira. Let me add 5,000 naira to what you are going to spend and hold the phone for a day or for a few hours. They will gladly do that if you are offsetting the spending for them. And you find a way to make your video while the phone is with you and give it back to them. Help them configure whatever they want to configure, install whatever they want to install. It's on you, but you use it to like spend time with that phone. Another thing you can do is you if it is school you go to, if it is church you go to, there's somebody that has a phone that you can probably reach. It doesn't have to be the latest. There are people that are still looking for information on older phones, right? Oh, because you are not trying to do those videos because you want to get thousands of views. No, you're trying to do those videos because you want to grow, you want to improve something. And also you put out a video, you will not know what you need to improve. So you want to make tech videos. Oh, this person that comes with this phone, let me use your phone and let me make a video about your phone briefly and take all the information you need. Go and do it. TikTok and Instagram has made it easier. You can do 1 minute videos now. You don't have to do all the stress of YouTube anymore. You can still do that if you want to go further, but you can use TikTok, you can use Instagram and do a 1 minute video and make a video about that phone. That way you are gaining experience. If you have reviewed all these small gadgets around you, you have gained experience. So by the time a better gadget comes your way, you have the experience you need. You have seen how your audience reacts to the videos that you're already posting out. So when you put out something, you know how best to tackle it. As for collaborations, it is never going to be easy with collaborations. Even right now, as I am, there are brands that I will reach out to and they will not respond. So actually, I don't reach out to brands. I only reach out to brands once or twice. And the responses I got made me realize that most of the time it's your audience the brands want, that's what they come for. So what you need to focus on is building the audience. If you grow the audience, the brands will come for that audience. They're not necessarily coming for you or your style. They see how you are able to carry your audience along. They see how you're able to engage your audience or how your audience engages with your content. So as you start growing that audience, they will come for you. So even if you decide that let me do this video for this brand and you keep doing it and keep doing it, the brands will ignore you unless like it goes viral and people are engaging it in and out. So don't think that you have to reach out to brands to collaborate. Focus more on growing the numbers, focus more on improving your quality to the best of your ability. The brands will come eventually. They will always reach out when they see that you have value and your audience are engaging your content. Collaborations will come. You can try to reach out to brands, but another thing I will say to you, even at this level, there are brands that I just love working with and I have done videos for. And when the brand is ready to spend money, they will go and work with somebody else because they believe that they will get it from me from free, right? So in the end, you get disappointed with trying to do stuff for brands. So focus on building your own audience, and when the brands come, you can start making money from it. You can follow your passion, do stuff, things that you love. If you see a brand that you want to do a video about, freely do it, but don't actively chase the brand. Do it for your audience. The brands will come for the audience. I always say audience first. And I also use the opportunity to answer one question that I saw because there's not much time and it might not be attended to. So one question that I spotted, the person said, bigger creators are afraid to criticize big brands when they mess up. I don't think that is true. Big creators criticize brands, big brands. It is possible maybe maybe the creator you pick as a favorite is not criticizing the brand you want them to criticize, or they're not criticizing the brand in the way that you would like them to criticize the brand, because there are different ways to criticize a brand. There's constructive criticism, there is negative criticism. There's a way I'll criticize a brand, but because I understand that no matter how good or bad a product is, there's one person that wants it for the one thing that it does well. I do the positives and the negatives. And then there are people that will come and only make the video in a negative way just to tell you, like, we like violence, Basmos. So that's what some people like. So it's not as if brands, big creators don't criticize brands. Maybe they don't criticize them in a way that you want them to criticize these brands. So also actually look out for their content. I have criticized brands. I'm on a blacklist of some popular brands because of the way I make my content, but some people don't know because I don't allow it to affect my video that I do for my audience. I still cover the brands that I can cover, but they don't know that some brands don't invite me. They can't mention my name in their rooms, in their meetings because I give honest opinions about the devices. And maybe brands will want to like strangle you too. When brand gives you a product, they'll tell you, you can't say this, you can't say that. You can't say this, you can't say that. And then when I look at it, oh, if you're making me hide the truth so much, sorry, I can't work with you. I'll buy the phone and do it myself, do my own video. So also watch your creators, not just on YouTube, on Instagram. Go watch YouTube where they do the detailed videos because on Instagram, you only want, if I put a 10 minutes video on Instagram, you won't watch it. It's 1 minute. And in 1 minute, there's only so much I can say in 1 minute. So I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I was off for a bit there and my network was glitchy. But I think I caught most of what you said. I think we would wrap up the question and answer section now because we literally have like 16 more minutes before 9 o'clock. I mean, it has been a lot that has been insightful, and I believe some of us we've gotten more clarity on some of these things, especially as it relates to content creation and the likes. Right. So at this point, I would want to leave the floor to Lade again. She's going to be sharing her screen. We are going to be playing a game, right? This is a game that everyone and anyone can participate in. No selector, no specific. Everyone can participate in this game. And the game is going to be for, I think in 5 minutes, we should be done with the game, right? Given the Yes. So it's quiz.com. I don't know if any of us are familiar with this platform, quiz.com. So there are a series of questions. You have 10 seconds to answer each of these questions, right? So the winner, the main winner is going to walk away. That's the winner, meaning you are getting the highest point. You walk away with the laptop. It's a Chromebook laptop. Then the first runner up, right, gets a month's internet subscription, like a heavy monthly internet subscription, which can be quite useful these days. So there are two criteria for judging winners. Number one, your correct answer, and number two, how fast can you answer these questions within the what's it called? Within the 10 seconds period. So let me leave the floor to Lade. You can share your screen and show us what you've got. Thank you.
Right. So I'll be sharing a link in the comments in the chat. All right, so everyone can just click the link in the chat. Let me share my screen.
So I think there's a rule, right? The rule is that the name you give has to be the name that is displayed on this Google Meet, so we can identify you. I just clicked on the link now. It says game not found. Maybe you want to check the link again and share the updated one.
Okay. Let me refresh. All right, let's try this one. Let's see what it shows. Okay, I'm seeing people. Please change your names. Change your names. It's very important. All right, I can see 7 people, 8, 9 people joined. We have 12.
So we're waiting for everyone to join before we start, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We have 14 people, 15. Please make sure you change your names when you are joining. It's very important. I'm still saying some names that we have 20 people now.
I think you can start now. I think we are good to go.
All right, I'm starting the game right now. Remember, I have 10 seconds to answer each question. So, first question. What year was Overland founded? 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, ticking. All right. Interesting. Question 2. Which programming language shares its name with a type of coffee?
Please, can you share the code? The code.
The code 032506.
If I end up winning this game, because I'm also playing it, I wonder what I'll give myself.
Your points will not be counted. Wow, interesting. Which of these apps was not founded in the USA? Time is ticking. We did it.
Did you stop sharing your screen?
I think it's my network. Let me share again.
You could not access the game. Did the game cancel?
Can you see the game now?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. What comes next in this sequence? 2, 3, 5, 9, 17. What's the next number?
I failed this one.
19 people answered. All right. Let's see who is leading.
I wonder why I'm not seeing my name here.
Next question. What's the original name of Google? Backup, Google page search body. Who is answering this? Who is getting this? All right. Who is this person? Who is hard down? This person is just stopping chat. What's the
A popular brand logo has never changed since long.
change?
Are you sure that person is not using cheat?
I forgot this. Hmm. Someone else is leading. Interesting. Question 8. What's the full meaning of www in the website URL? Let's see the stuff in the chat.
I can't believe I'm in 8th place.
How many jobs has Overlord secured for their talent since inception? Let's see who's getting this. Hmm. Question 10. Which of these is not a type of cloud storage?
I want to come in first place.
We are not accepting your poet guest star.
How am I still in third?
Interesting. Adam is back on one.
I don't know who that person. Who is this Adam's person?
Who are you?
Just the name alone, which I call
What's the name of Overland Virtual Community Party? He's talking.
I'm still in third place. Hmm.
Wow. Adam is still on first.
I'm
Interesting.
very interested to know this Adam's person.
Person is exactly which African country has the most official languages? Is it Ethiopia? Is it Kenya? Is it Nigeria? Is it South Africa? Which one? Which one? All right. Please submit it.
I'm
Looks like
suspecting
another person is leader.
this Jeffrey and Adam. They are both the.
Who is the founder of Overlord Digital? This question is too simple.
It's too simple. Sincere.
Really.
I've come up in the world.
You are not counting your points. You are not counting your points. Okay. Question 14. Instagram was originally created to share what kind of content?
Probably going to fail this one.
The simple.
I got it.
All right, who is leading now? Overland's Techpreneurs Hub has been launched at which university campus?
This is a tricky one.
We have OAU, we have Unilag.
We'll have to give people, whoever chose Unilag. Anyway, let's conclude this because it's actually 2 universities, not just one. We've done it at 2 universities.
Not much people got to go.
Okay.
Have
Which type
and just
of-
transmission best. Hmm.
If I don't get that one, shame on me. Okay. I think we have about 4 more questions left. Oh, Adams is already relegating you. What's happening, Adams? Which company created chat?
What company created ChatGPT? This is a simple question. Everybody should know this.
It's simple. I'm trying to beat this Jeffrey guy, but he seems to be persisting.
Hey, what social media platform is owned by Meta? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Snapchat? Is it WhatsApp? Is it X? Who is stopping the chat? Who is stopping the chat?
Okay.
Covalence community currently has over members.
Hmm.
Then final one. Who is getting the
Ah,
score?
did I confess this?
No, he can't be you. It's
Oh,
Carl. So who is
oh, I came second. Ah,
free?
Jeffrey is the first winner.
Very
Hmm,
interesting.
very interesting. So,
What to Adam?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
okay. Well done, Jeffrey. You did really well. I mean, I was surprised the questions you were getting. Adam, so sorry. I mean, you were supposed to be the second person, but
I didn't realize it was how fast you answer your point to get increased. So I was
okay.
answering those questions late and getting low points.
Oh, I see. I see. Nevertheless, our top 2 persons here is Jeffrey, myself, but we have to scrap myself according to Lade. So the next person that comes in line is who is Lovely Pig? I wonder who would name themselves that. Lovely Pig.
I'm sorry, oh, I forgot to change my name.
Oh, so you are the Lovely Pig. All right. No problem. No problem. So we have our two winners. So Jeffrey is walking away with our Chromebook laptop. Jeffrey, quick one. Do you stay in Lagos?
No, I do not live in Lagos, unfortunately, but I have
So
people over there.
you have people over in at least. Okay, good. I was hoping you would be in Lagos, so it's easy for me to just deliver it to you. So are you saying you would want it to be delivered to somebody in Lagos?
Or if you can ship it to me directly, that'd be even better.
All right, please drop your contacts on the chat. Lade is going to pick it up, and yeah, we'll reach out to you. Then I think this lovely pig name, that's my Mayowa. I think you've won twice on this call. You won one airtime, and you are winning a month's data subscription, internet subscription. Is that right? Don't know. Is that fair? Should we?
Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Should we shift your time to the third person, or you want to take everything up? So every more people will win.
No. Sakwa is biting me. Give me everything.
Wow. All right. All right. Okay. So it's been sincerely, it's been a really great one. I've had fun. I mean, one way or the other, this was somewhat refreshing. I was hoping that we would get the best out of this, to be honest. When I started this, I said, I'm a novice. This is my very first time doing anything remotely close to this. And I think we've done well. We've done quite well for what we set out to achieve. So at this point, before we start letting anyone go or anything, I would just like for us to do a bit of reflection and wrapping up. So in reflection, anyone who is interested to say a few words of thanks to our special guest here, you can just raise your hands, and we would whether you want to say a few words of thanks, you want to, whatever it is you want to say, right? Just, okay, I think we have Jeffrey. We'll take just two people before we wrap up at the end of the day. So we have Jeffrey, one other hand. We need one other hand. I think Divine. Okay, Jeffrey and Divine. All right. All right, so Jeffrey, you can unmute your mic. The floor is yours.
Hello, Izzi. Funny enough, I stumbled across this event because I was on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I'm a tech content creator as well. And I saw your face on it and I was like, Izzi is going to be here. So that's why I went. I joined the group, went through the processes that they needed to do, got all their questions correctly, participated actively for a while, and then showed up here. And honestly, you didn't disappoint. I've been watching you since like 2018 or so. I think that was when I got the inspiration to start my own, because just like you said, I was the go-to guy in my own area. But initially, I didn't even want to do tech. Just like you said, it's a couple of things, one thing to the other to the other. I started out with blogging. I was writing on Ireland. I was very popular over there. Atheist and proud. That was my moniker at the time. And then we got into problems with the mods and all that. So I had to learn WordPress. Not as trying to make money or anything. It was just because I wanted somewhere to keep my articles. And then that was how I got WordPress. And then, people started saying, oh, you don't have graphics on your stuff. So I became my own graphic designer. And then I started shooting videos, and then I had to learn video editing and all that. So everything you said sort of resonated. It does make sense. I think the only thing I would say that you didn't really touch on is like, you said you grew, exponentially, but you didn't really like the process. How did the views come? What strategies you used and whatnot? Maybe some other time if you're invited back, maybe you'd cover all of those. But generally, everything you said checks out. Printing too. I started recording with like a 13 megapixel phone, and just like you said, yeah, a lot of people tend to look at like the finished product. Recently I went and I looked at what MKBHD did sometime in 2012, and it was very funny. It was just skinny little kid with a big hat, and he was in his bedroom. His bed was visible. The room wasn't even that palatable, and it was also he was having fun. And I think that's the problem that most content creators, up and coming content creators, have these days, because they look at what somebody has built over 10 years and they want to achieve it in like 2 years or so. Not possible. So you were spot on all that. The part about like the content creators, I was the one who asked that question because I feel like a lot of content creators, maybe they are too soft in their criticism or just they tend to let things slide. And you are one of the more balanced ones as far as I'm concerned. So kudos for that. So you being on the blacklist of a couple brands is something we didn't really know about. Well, we've learned today, and I wouldn't really say that it's a bad thing. I mean, you standing up, like you said, the audience comes first. So you standing up for, stuff like this is what actually made me follow. There's only two people I follow. I'll call your name and then I won't mention the name of the other person, but like you guys are like huge inspirations for like up and coming tech smartphone content creators. So I'm very happy you came. Thank you for sparing the time for coming. And that's my bit. Do have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Divine, you have the floor. Just a few minutes before we conclude.
All right. Actually, I joined this program or this section for the quiz initially, but when I saw Mr. Izzy's name on the link, I said, no, I just had to join this program. And honestly, it has been an interesting one. I think the talk was literally for me, basically, because I have a TikTok channel that I'm running a football content creation, stuff like that. And I moved from my phone because my phone had issues, a Infinix Smart 5. I'm currently using my laptop for it now, and I felt very tired. So him just giving a breakthrough of where he started from is really interesting. I want to say a big thank you, and to the host too. This is a very good one. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. Finally, to our special guests, any final word from you? Any final word of advice or anything from you? Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I would say this is nice. It's nice seeing people like trying to get together to help each other to grow because that's what's basically this is. There are some people that don't have or take advantage of this kind of opportunities, or they see it as what am I going to waste my time there to do? But you never can tell somebody just want a Chromebook, just like that. So yeah, as for Jeffrey, when you were saying that I didn't really cover strategies, if you say all this, it would take a long time, right, to explain all of these things. But yeah, the growth was not exactly exponential. It was, I wouldn't say, I don't think I've ever really gone viral until I already became popular. I don't really have like a viral content that I put and it went viral and gave me numbers. It was, I think after COVID and I started posting content on Instagram that I had a few posts that did a lot of numbers and got me across 100K on Instagram. But the strategy for me then was like I advised. I started and I saw that there were other people that were already there doing it. I was not trying to compete with them for views. I would look, okay, they will only review when brands send to them. Me, even up to now, I still buy products. But a lot of creators, they will only review when brands send to them. So what did I do? I know when a brand release products, they release 3 products sometimes, and they will send the major one they want to promote to the creators. So what do? I go for the one the brands does not send to them, the more affordable one. And then I also go to compare. Another secret I'll give to you guys, some brands don't like when you compare their products, right? So when they send a device to you, they tell you, these are our terms. Don't do so and so comparison. So what I was going to do then was I focus on those comparisons because people are always asking for them. So the strategy for me was not trying to compete with views with the bigger creators, just do my thing. Sometimes I'll do what I'm genuinely interested in. Other times it's for the audience, right? This is what the audience is looking for. Let me go for it. And like I've talked about using the S25 Ultra. I've bought every Samsung flagship since the Note 5, but I'm sure you hardly see me review it on YouTube because by the time it gets to Nigeria, NKBG and others have reviewed it. What do I want to say that will make you watch my own over their own? So I usually don't review them until like after a very long time, and then I do long-term reviews. People appreciate that one more than me trying to compete with NKBG for views that will get millions of views. So even now, I know my level and I know that this is what I will attempt that will give me results. So the strategy is it will not always work, but you just keep at it, keep trying something. And also don't be afraid to experiment. Me reviewing a bike the other time was me trying to see and show that it is not just phones that is tech, it's not just phones I can review. This is what I can do too. But bikes are not as cheap as phones. Yeah, electric bikes are expensive. Cars are not as cheap as phones. But I'm just putting myself out there. If a brand that has these things that want to call me tomorrow, they know that I can do something like that. So yeah, with time, what is if you might just take just one content that resonates with you. Like I was saying, Twitter was hard to grow, very hard to grow. It took me a long time to cross 10K on Twitter. How did I cross 10K? I sat down one day and I decided that I saw somebody complaining about losing their phone number, and I decided to make that video. I don't normally post videos on TikTok, on Twitter, and I posted that video on Twitter, and it did over 400,000 views, and I crossed 10K followers on Twitter. I'm like, I've been on 9,000 on Twitter for over a year, so it can be one content, but you just have to keep at it. So that's all.
Yeah, thank you so much. As someone asked a very important question, and that's like how I want to end. How can we connect with Izzi? So I'm going to drop his handle on for those of us that are still here. I'll drop his handle on the chat. Let me quickly get there to just copy it exactly as it is. I'll drop his handle on the chat. I'll also drop Overlon Digital's handle. Please follow. Follow Izzi, follow Overlon. You can drop your own handles as well. We can follow each other, right? Let me just quickly get that. Okay. Let me quickly do this in the chat at Izzi underscore. Sorry. Where's my underscore? Okay, this is, and then we have Overlon Digital. So in case you are not following us currently, follow us. You can also drop your handles. If we see your follow, we'll follow you back, right? Just so there is always yeah. So on a final note, again, so much thanks has been said, not just even from me, even from other people that have been here. So much of it. And for any of us that are still here who might be interested in joining our community, we have a WhatsApp community. We are moving into a proper platform soon enough. But for now, we are still on our WhatsApp community. We are growing. We have little over about 300 people that are active and vibrant. We want more people that are serious, about improving themselves, growing their skill. We want to boast of you as our talent that can handle any project that is brought upon your table in your area of specialty, right? So if you're interested in joining, send us an email or reach out to us via DM, and we'll give you the process. You have to take an assessment, right? Because we realized that we needed to assess anyone joining our community. So for any of the tracks you're interested in, you'll be required to take an assessment, and regardless of whatever you score, you'll be given the instructions and the prompts to join our community by our community manager. Once again, I want to thank every single person here for being here, for contributing the way you've contributed. I'm very happy about the people that have won prizes, and I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions when you receive them. Thank you so much, Izzi. Thank you, everyone. This was a good one, and it was well worth it, I would say. Have a wonderful day. Good night, everyone. Oh, James, your hands are raised. Do you want to say something?
No. That was a mistake.
All right. I think people are already leaving. So
Thank you. Good night.
thank you,
Enjoy.
Jerry. Good night. I hope we've taken the number of Jerry so we can easily contact him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put it on the chat.
All right. We'll reach out to you as soon as we can. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Only need to remain for here with that.